Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, hi, my name is Natasha and it's fantastic to have you here. Before we jump into today's video, I would love to share with you the sponsor for today. This is Madam Glam New York. You might be familiar with them. I have done a couple of videos with them before. I am just so impressed. When they reached out again, I said absolutely, of course. So this time we have a little bit of variety here. So I'll tell you a little bit more about them in just a second, but I just want to show you the amazing colors here. So first of all, we have the bottle. All right, so this is Soak Off Gel Polish, and you can see the color from the top, and I absolutely love that, because if you stack your polish like this in a box or caboodle, if you're old like me, you can see the tops really quickly. So this color is Spiced Cider, and I am so excited for this one. This is called Green Highlighter. So the name's on the bottom, you get the color on the label and the top. Then this is another peacock color. So this is great over another dark polish. Even light polish works too. This is called Under Pressure. And then we have a holo. I am so stoked about this. This is holographic cat eye. It is magnetic too, so you can use a magnet to make those really fun designs. Then my excitement grows even more because there is this little kit here. So you have the marble ink, which you place down, and then on top, this is the black ink that creates this marbling effect on your nails. So we're gonna try that out today. And last but not least, I have a nail brush in here so we can see how that works too. So I will link down below where you can purchase this should you want to. They were kind enough to give us a code for 30% off your first purchase if you do not want to become a VIP member. And the link will take you right to it, to your discounted price as well. So thank you so much to Madam Glam. Now, I won't drag this out because I know you guys want to get to the video, but I do want to show you the product in motion. So we'll do that, we'll see how it looks, and then we will get right on with it. All right, Madam Glam Curing Light is all hooked up. I have my base coat down, and now we're going to put on the green highlighter. So again, talking about the packaging here, the shape of the handle here of the brush is really nice. It's very comfortable to use. I have not had a problem with it. What I am most impressed with, I'm going to bring you in down a little bit closer, is how it goes on very opaque compared to other gel nail polishes that I've used in the past. And if you've been with me for a while, you know I've been using a lot. So I do about 2 coats of any kind of solid gel polish on my nails. Am I a professional? Absolutely not. And this is going to cure for 30 seconds underneath the light, and I will come back with all of these cured. All right, so that is 2 coats. And if this does not remind you of Nickelodeon slime, I do not know what will, and I am stoked. So what I'm going to try to do now is the marbling on at least one finger, and then I want to show you the nail art brush, and let's get going. All right, I have not used this before, so we're going to figure it out together, okay? So we're just going to do one nail and hope for the best. So I'm going to lay this down first and then cure it. Okay, let's see. I don't know how much to put on, but there we go. All right, let me cure it. All right, so as you can tell here, hopefully, the shine is completely gone, and I think I missed a spot right there, but that's okay. So now let's see how this works with the black marble ink. Let's cross our fingers and hope that I did it right. Okay. Oh, it's doing something. Oh, am I just supposed to dab it on? Oh, that's different. It like soaks into the bottom layer. Well, it's definitely marbling. I don't know if it had the desired effect that I was going for, but it definitely marbled. Let me see if I add a little bit of for me not knowing what I'm doing, it's still doing an effect. So I'll take it. It's doing what it's supposed to. Oh yeah, so you can kind of move it around a little bit. Okay. This is a trust yourself and get creative kind of a tool here. Okay. So you can make it darker in certain areas. Okay. All right. So this is have fun with it, Natasha. This just go with what you want to do here. All right. I'm starting to get it now. You know, like I said, had no idea what to expect. I didn't know what to do. It definitely looks what's like on the cap, so I'm just going to roll with it. Okay. Okay, I like that a lot better. So let's cure it and see how it looks. All right. It makes a lot more sense now. I kind of messed it up in the beginning when I just went one swipe, but I like it now. Okay. Last but not least, I want to show you the brush. So here's the fine liner, detailed liner brush. If I can get it to focus. Bam! I love that it has a cap. Look at how fine that is. That is so tiny. My last little bit of finesse and testing, I just want to see with this, I have the perfect black here. I just kind of want to do like a smile line real fast with this brush to see how it will go about. And I am positive you can clean this with acetone, but Madam Glam, if you're watching and that's the wrong thing, I'm so sorry. I'm going to put a dot there, dot on the edge here, and a dot on the edge here. And then what I'm going to do is line them up. So that way we're going to get as even as we can. This is such a nice brush. My shaky hand here. Oh my gosh, I've never experienced a fine brush like this before. What that says about me, I don't know. Oh wow, okay. Look at that. You can leave that as is, as a little fun detail, or you can fill it in. This is kind of giving me Beetlejuice. I think I'm going to try to fill it in. Oh, this is nice. I'm not getting those crazy sparse brushes. Bristles, I should say. Not brushes, goodness. And you could fill it in with the bigger brush, but I don't trust myself to just not completely mess this up. Okay, quality products. I hope you guys know by now that I'm not going to advertise anything on my channel or take sponsorships that I don't believe in or I don't trust. And I can honestly say that, I mean, I'm going to have to do some experimenting with the marble, but I can honestly say their product has definitely impressed me to the point where this is the only gel product now that I use. And I want to tell you, speaking of the gel products, they are vegan, they are cruelty-free, they are absolutely free from 21 of the most toxic chemicals found in nail polish, and they are palm oil free. So let's top coat this baby and see how it looks. All right, top coated, alcohol wiped. Let me show you. So I added some fun stuff on the other nails as well. That fine liner, look at how fine those lines are. They're not perfect. I wasn't even trying. I just wanted to experiment. And the marble ink is fun. I think I added too much. So I'm going to have a ball playing around with this, especially come Halloween time. They're not the prettiest. They're not perfection, but I think it's a lot of fun. I am so impressed with these products. I keep experiencing more great finds from them. So check them out with the link in the description box as well as in the pinned comment by me. Thank you so much again to Madam Glam, and thank you for knowing that listening and viewing these sponsors helps this channel immensely and gets to bring you guys more content. So thank you so much to each and every one of you. Now let's get on to the video. All right, I fixed them. But look at how fun they are. Bright lime green Nickelodeon slime. All right, so for today's video, we are going to be looking at my top picks for beginner tarot decks. So I'm going to be judging these based upon guidebook, price, general feel, and as always, this is just my opinion, my thoughts. They might not be everybody's top 10 choices, but they are mine. It was kind of hard to pick, and you might be surprised at what decks are on here and in what order. So let's go ahead and start with number 10. Coming in at number 10 is Tarot for Kids. This is written by Teresa Reed and illustrated by Kaylee Whitman. And it is one of the cheapest decks that are on the list today, and it's retailing for $18.99 in the US, $24.99 in Canada. And it's just a simple tuck box. The reason it is on my list, even though it says it's for kids, it's such a wonderful deck to read with, if I can get it all out. So the guidebook, first and foremost, is very gentle. It's very nice. It's easy to read. It gives you a little sentence or phrase to go about what is the energy of the card, a little blurb about it, a reverse, and then it gives you a question. So if you're into journaling or if you want to dive deeper into the energy of the card, it is a great deck to do that with. So let's just see the images real fast, and also take a look at how big these cards are. So you really are getting your money's worth. Let's see. And there's diversity in here. All different types of kids are in here, which is fun. And it's just so great to see different representation in a kid's deck. So it's not scary, it's not foreboding, it's very easy to read with the energy. I'm trying to look for a major arcana. There we go. So it's just very dynamic, very fun, very gentle. The Devil card is called, I believe, the Bully. And I'm just really pleased with how they chose to, here we go, the Devil card, how they chose to represent this deck. It's very fun, vibrant, dynamic, but also soft, gentle, and easy to use. So whether you are 8 years old or 80, it is a really nice deck, a really inexpensive deck, but good quality. I was really pleased with it. I recommend it to anybody trying to start tarot with their kids. It's fun. Check it out. All right, on to number 9. All right, my number 9 is The Everyday Witch Tarot by Deborah Blake and Elizabeth Alba. Some of you might be surprised that I did not say that this was my number 1, and there are reasons. So let's get into it. It retails for $29.99, published by Llewellyn, and it comes in that magnetic Llewellyn case with a ribbon, and the cards are inside here. So first of all, this is one of my favorite decks ever. This is one of the first decks that I really vibed with, and it just opened up my intuition immensely. And it might do the same for you. The imagery is beautifully done, easy to read. I really don't have that many complaints about the deck itself. I do, however, think if you are a beginner, it might be harder for you to understand with the guidebook. Even though it is wonderfully done, it doesn't go terribly in depth, which is why it is number 9, because that's one of the things that I wanted to look at for beginner-friendly decks. It does have enough information to get you by, so if you are connecting with the deck, having another resource next to you would be probably very beneficial. But like I said, it is one of my favorite decks in the world. It is lacking diversity, but there is the Everyday Witch Oracle, which does have more diversity in it. But the energy is easy to read on these cards. You can understand exactly what's going on without really needing the guidebook. The imagery is gentle. It's just beautifully done. I love the whimsicalness of it. It's just beautiful. And again, number 9. So let's keep it moving. Number 8 is the Spirit Song Tarot by Paulina Cassidy. This is lower on the list for a couple reasons, but we'll get to that. It's published by US Game Systems, and I believe it retails for $21.95. It is beautifully done, very gentle, and what I do like about it is if you are a beginner, on the bottom there's a couple of keywords. So for the Two of Acorns, which are the Two of Pentacles, we have insight and focus. And then it allows you to kind of use your intuition. But if you get stuck as a beginner, you have these keywords down here to help you out. My thought process for why it's down on the lower end is because the guidebook isn't as thorough. Some people think it might be a little bit busy with the art style. It's also animals, so that might not be something that beginners really get drawn to when they're looking at tarot. So that's why it's lower on my list, but let's show you the guidebook real fast. So for instance, here's the sun. Vitality and joy, so it gives you the message here, some keywords, and then the reversed message. So it does do a really good job in the guidebook, but it's lower on my list because, again, it might not be for everyone, and other ones beat it out, quite frankly. But it's beautiful for an animal deck. I think it's whimsical again, and with those keywords for a beginner, that's super important. And a lot of people like to use this deck as a oracle card as well. So more of that vibe instead of the tarot structure. So it's up to you. But that is number 8 on my list. All right, coming in at number 7, we have the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann. This is published by Hay House, and it retails for $24.99 in the US and $33.99 in Canada. It is higher on the list because the art is gorgeous and the guidebook has so much in it. It's just really creative. I really enjoy the imagery here. There's diversity. It's beautifully rendered. It feels really inclusive. It feels easy to understand, but it's got a very different art style. Like you can definitely pick it apart in a crowd. And I really enjoy it. It's beautifully done. This is a deck that I see myself being drawn to time and time again. I just adore it. I think there's something very positive about this deck, but it also is very genuine. It feels very much like a friend, like you can go and talk to. It's very home feeling, like I said, a friend, and very easy to read as a beginner, or it makes it easy with the guidebook and how things get explained. So for instance, let's do strength since it's just open to here. So it gives you a light seer and a shadow seer. So think about the light as like an upright position and the shadow as the reversed. And then it also gives you a little blurb about it as well, and an affirmation, which if you know me, you know I love my affirmations. So I deliberately bring my compassion and strength forward, and I use them for good. So there's a lot packed into this guidebook, and it does have pretty awesome spreads as well. So we have the 1 card, the light and shadow spread, which is a 2 card, the Lightworker illumination spread, and the calling and love spread. And the last one, the soul joy. So pretty packed full of info. The art style, like I said, is gorgeous. I really enjoy how it shuffles. The cardstock is just fine, although when I got this, it was one of the first released decks, and the manufacturing was kind of not the best uniformity, but I've learned to work with it, and I actually think it gives it character, so I'm not mad at it. All right, so that takes us to our next deck. All right, number 6, the This Might Hurt Tarot deck by Isabella Rotman, with illustrations by Addison Duke, or colored by Addison Duke, I should say. I'm not sure how much this is, but I know it's more expensive than mass-produced because this is independently published. This deck is stunning. It is beautiful. It has my utmost praises. The packaging is great. It is a magnetic closure. And it is super personal to the author because she did base certain characters off of people she holds dear. So before we get into the cards, I just want to show you the guidebook here. Like, it is done really well. There's a lot of info in here that is relatable. If you are a beginner, it brings it down to like your real world experiences too. So frozen by the fantasy of options with the 7 of Cups here. Like, look at that face. And then it just goes into a story, and then like if the card came up, what it means for you. I just really like the relatability to this. It's very similar to Rider-Waite-Smith, only done in a more modern way and very relatable. The body types are all different. There's so much diversity, and there's a lot of non-binary in here as well, which is fantastic because, again, we need to bring it up to the modern day, right? It's just gorgeously done. Oh, I love this High Priestess card so much. And it shuffles really well. Look at that foiling. It's a little holographic black. So it's worth the extra that you would be paying for the independently published because the quality is there. This cardstock is great. It shuffles fantastic, and the guidebook is great. If you're looking for a more expensive deck, if you're a beginner but you're kind of wanting to step it up in quality, this is the deck to do so with. This is the deck to spend your money on. It is just highly inclusive, wonderfully done. It's easy to read with. The energy is there. It's lower on my list strictly because of the price tag, and the other decks kind of beat it out with the guidebook. So keep that in mind. This is one of my favorite decks that I own. It's held up really well, and I'm just really impressed with it. Every time I go to use it, it just brings me joy. So that being said, we are halfway through the list. Let's get to number 5. Number 5, the Everyday Enchantment Tarot by Poppy Palin, Finding Magic in the Midst of Life. This is such a wonderful deck, and I can't remember exactly. Oh, there we go. $39.99 is what it retails for. It is so beautiful. First of all, the packaging is great. And then the biggest thing here is this thick guidebook. Oh, there's just so much packed in here. We've got elements, we've got keywords, we've got the story of the image, the story that takes place with the energy and the image. Then we have the meaning, the traditional meanings. So there's so much in here that puts all of the puzzle pieces together for a beginner. It's not just a couple of keywords. It's not a phrase. It's like going in depth. So you can really relate to the imagery in the card and the energy it is expressing. So first of all, you got that. Then you have like the kind of spiritual fairy beings that are in this deck relating alongside with the everyday person. I always have problems getting cards out of the double-sided packaging here. To me, this is not the best situation. I don't know why I have a pet peeve about splitting the deck in half. But look at the beautiful back. And then we just have relatability. It's just so vibrant, dynamic, beautiful. Like, it is your everyday life here. You know these people. They're your neighbors, your family, your friends. You can see that in this card, and your clients can see that in this card. And that's what's so great about reading with decks like this, is because you can relate to the energy that is present in this card because you can see yourself. Like, super easy to understand what's going on in the images. Like, how sweet. Little dog, I love him. So if you're a beginner, the energy is easy to read. Like, you kind of understand what's going on here. And then you go into the guidebook and you see all of the extra information that you might not get in every other deck. So it's just so well done, so well thought out. The different borders are the different suits, so you can have that as help as well. Very easy to differentiate the different suits, all of the above. So my only pet peeve with this is the packaging, and sometimes the cards can be hard to shuffle since they're so big, and the cardstock is very thick. So shuffling them this way might be a little harder with people with smaller hands, but shuffling them side by side is how I do it. It makes it a lot easier to control, and your hands will thank you. So I feel like they're a little bit bigger, like longer than an oracle deck, but I could be mistaken. But the cardstock is really nice. It's flexible, but it's thick. It's also matte, which, hello, love a matte. So the price tag honestly is worth it, the $40. I will pay it again for this deck. It is worth it for the quality and for the content that you receive in the guidebook. So if you're looking for a literal everyday deck that gives you a bunch of insight as well as information, this might be for you, the Everyday Enchantment Tarot. All right, we're down to our top 4 now. Coming in at number 4, we have the True Heart Intuitive Tarot by Rachel True. Now, we're getting into decks now that I recommend to everyone when they are asking for beginner-friendly decks, which is why they're the top 4. So, the True Heart Intuitive Tarot, you might recognize the Rachel True name from the movie The Craft. Love her. So, again, we have the double or the split deck, but the size of these cards are awesome. The packaging could be better, I'll admit that, but we aren't focusing on the packaging when we're talking about beginner-friendly decks, right? Look at how stunningly beautiful these cards are. Oh, they're just so gorgeous. We have diversity, we have dynamic artwork, we have it all in here, and it feels relatable. There's no, pip decks to where it's just symbols, and you'll notice that all the decks that I chose for this are not pip decks. They all have a scene, movement, things to depict what is going on in the imagery. Because sometimes it's really hard to learn tarot alongside numerology. It can be a lot, so we want to avoid overwhelming you. So this deck is really great. I forgot to tell you how much it was because I got too excited. So there's Rachel True. It's $30, and it is published by Houghton Mifflin Harcourt. So now that you've seen the cards, let me show you how they shuffle. They shuffle really nicely. I like the size. The cardstock is on the thinner side, but it is flexible and it snaps back just fine. There's a little bit of a gloss to it, as you can see there. It's not terribly glossy. I like the size. I like how it shuffles. I think it's really cool. Now, let me show you the guidebook because that's even cooler. Look at all of the info. Don't let it overwhelm you because it goes into her experiences as well in the guidebook and how she feels about the energy of the card. But we do have, so here's Justice. We have a high vibe, so think of it like the upright position, and then the low vibe, you can think of it as the reversed position. And then we have all of this information here, and then her relating to it. It's just really great. So it's another way for you to learn. If you like to learn about experiences, if you like to learn about like more of a story situation, this is great for that. How to relate to their story with the cards. And so then when you're going back to use the deck and learn and that same card comes out, it's easy to kind of put the 2 and 2 together and really relate that way. So I think for the price, it's great. Again, packaging could be better, but what you're getting in here is fantastic. So very, very great. This card keeps wanting to come out for me. It can be a little bit straightforward. I wouldn't call it scary imagery, but I really want to say straightforward because you get what you see. It tells it like it is, and I like that. So if you're not looking for a very gentle deck, you want something that's a little bit easier to read with, but straightforward and on the nose, this might be the deck for you. All right, let's go to the top 3. Number 3, the Wandering Star Tarot by Kat Pierce. This deck is stunning. This retails for $26 in the US, $35.99 in Canada, and this is published by Hay House. Oh my gosh, I love this deck so much. It is one of the decks that I use quite a lot. Look at the back. I mean, so well done. It is fun, vibrant, it's very gentle. It feels like you're reading with like a storybook. It's just beautiful. And if you notice, there's keywords kind of hidden throughout the artwork here. So if you get stuck again, you can look at those keywords. This is an extra card. There's 2 extra cards here. You can look at the keywords and figure out how they relate with what you're reading with. It's just so well done. I love the size of it. I love the diversity. I love how fluid it is. And I love that the keywords aren't in your face. So it's not like it jumps out at you to where it's like, this is what you're supposed to be feeling right now. It's literally in the background. And so it allows your intuition to take over, and it has that first. And then if you get stuck, you can be like, oh yeah, that's what it was. So very beginner friendly. It's just one of my favorites. I'm so thrilled with this deck, and I want to show you how it shuffles. We're going to do that with the top deck so you can get a feel. It's just so pretty. And then let me show you the guidebook. So you can see we have keywords, then it gives you information, and then it gives you a little quote at the bottom too. So again, more relating to the imagery, to the energy. It's really great. It's very gentle. It like I said, it's like reading with a storybook with a friend. It's so nice. I can't say the praises enough for this deck. It really is a deck that I can use with a lot of different clients because it's so relatable. And it's higher quality than I thought it would be. The edges are getting a little worn because I am using it a lot, but like I said, wonderfully done. I love the art style. Feels very unique. Highly recommend it. All right, top 2. All right, you know I had to throw a Rider-Waite-Smith deck in here somehow. So this is the Apprentice Tarot deck featuring the Universal Weight. This is retailing for, I think, $22.99. This is your basic Rider-Waite-Smith imagery upgraded. So it has keywords printed on each side of the card. So we have the upright version and the reverse version. And this deck, I had it in my purse for a friend I was showing, so therefore the tuck box is a little worse for wear. But I did want to show you, it comes with a flashcard here for spreads, so that's always fun if you're a beginner and wanting to try out spreads. And the guidebook is really simple because all of the messages are on the cards. This is just getting to know tarot and what it's about. So there's no like meanings in the guidebook. It is just more information about tarot. Okay, so don't be going in here thinking you're going to learn more in-depth info meanings. This is just strictly about getting you familiar with tarot in general. But the size is great. The cardstock is really great. And like I said, you literally get the meanings right on the card. So it's a little bit more in your face, but if you're somebody who is neurodivergent, this might be really good help for you too, because sometimes we need to see the writing as well as the imagery, because sometimes it's hard for memory purposes. So this might be an easy way for you to learn basic Rider-Waite-Smith imagery. And there is nothing shameful. There is nothing wrong with needing keywords or needing your guidebook by you while you're learning. Don't rush yourself to think that you need to memorize everything. like really quickly in order for you to read. Practice reading with family members that you can trust or friends that you can trust, and have your guidebook handy. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I'm not too sure about this card. Let me double check in the guidebook to confirm what I'm feeling or what I'm seeing. So don't rush yourself, because it is a lot to take in. It is so much to take in. So here's 10 of Wands. Let me give you an example here for the reverse version. Underburden, let go or delegate responsibilities, collapsing under pressure, or no end in sight. So you can see how it can be useful to learn. And say you have all of the upright meanings learned, and now you just need to work on the reverse meanings or how they feel to you. This is a great deck for you to use as flashcards. This is a great deck for, learning all of the ins and outs of the Rider-Waite-Smith imagery. So this is why it's number 2. It's number 2 because there is no guidebook, and it's really just a different way of learning tarot. It's more in depth than the other decks that have keywords on them. And this gives you the basic traditional imagery as well. It's a great jumping off point to have as a beginner. All right, so are you ready to see what the number 1 beginner deck is? So did you guess right? All right, coming in at number 1 is the Good Karma Tarot, a beginner's guide to reading the cards by Carrie Ward. This deck, let me tell you. So this is illustrated by Amy Blackwell, published by O, retailing for $19.99 in pounds in Europe, I believe, and $24.95 in the US. This deck is gorgeous. This deck is for all ages. This deck will help you with everything you need to know. My concern about it, though, is the packaging. That's my least favorite thing. Again, there's a lot of decks here with double or split decks, so it is a little bit tedious to get out of the packaging here, but that's okay. Look at these cards. It is so bright, so cheerful, so gentle. I can't sing the praises of this deck enough. And again, we've got diversity. We've got different body types. We've got different hair colors. We've got fun imagery that you can understand without needing to read the cards. It looks like construction paper characters art style. It's so gentle, so great. I absolutely get a kick out of this deck. It is one of the decks that I go to when I need a pick-me-up, when I need like a little, you're right on the money, you've got it today, you've got this. Like, this is that deck. When I just need a positive, gentle deck that will tell me like everything I need to know. It's still straightforward. It still tells you, but it's like your best friend. Like, it's very gentle in how it tells you. It's like, okay, yeah, so stuff stinks right now. You're feeling a little anxiety, but it's okay. You're going to be fine. Things will work out. Like, look at how beautiful it is. It's so, I just love it. Like, it doesn't seem childish to me. Some people might see it as a little bit childish or for preteens. I don't. I see it as very fun, vibrant, and beautiful. Like, even the so-called scary cards aren't scary. It just tells it like it is. Like, it just is very well done. I'm trying to find the tower, probably already passed it, but it's just beautiful. I can't sing its praises enough. I keep saying that, but that's why these are the top, there's the tower, the top 3 decks, right? And then look at the guidebook. So much information. We've got little phrases. We've got a karma tip. We've got all of the information you need about the imagery and the energy. It's just really well done. And it gives you more info about tarot in general, like myth busting, how to use it. Then in the back, it gives you some spreads here, which are, again, step by step. So we have the week ahead, or New Year or birthday reading, future love or soulmate, past relationships, career pathways, understanding myself in the tarot. Just a lot of really good info that one might need if they're beginning or if they're a little timid because they've heard all of these myths and craziness about tarot. So I just want to show you how these shuffle. I don't know if I did it, but we're going to do it again. Just great. And they are a gloss, but it's just so beautiful and positive. It just feels like reading with your best friend. It's just great. I adore this deck. Again, love it. So I highly recommend that if you're into like this kind of gentle style, to look at getting this deck, because this is my number one. This is the one that I recommend for everyone starting out, because it has such great information and it's gentle and easily readable with the imagery. With all of that being said, what was missing? What would you add to this? What would be your favorite pick out of all of this? If you were just starting out now, not knowing anything about tarot, what deck would you pick to be your first deck? And was your first deck in this lineup? Let me know all of your thoughts and all of your answers down in the comment section below. Again, thank you so much to Madam Glam for letting us see this beautiful product. It's so fun. Thank you for sponsoring the video. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I know you guys been wanting this video for a long time, and I'm very happy with my top 10 that I picked for you guys. And again, just my thoughts and opinions. They are not set in stone. They are subject to change once another deck comes out that I feel needs to go in the top 10. So with that being said, thank you all again for hanging out with me today. I love you and I like you. Don't forget, if you haven't done so already, to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell on your way out of this video. And don't forget to look in the description box for my link tree that will provide you all of my social media links, as well as my Etsy shop where I do private readings. And don't forget that 30% off coupon for Madam Glam. Thank you again, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.